Hey guys, welcome back. Hope everyone is doing well. I am doing well. I am just tired. And you're probably gonna hear me say that about a dozen more times before I'm not tired anymore. So we are celebrating our little man being 4 weeks old as of yesterday, and we're just so grateful that he's here and he's healthy, and yeah, we're very, very blessed. Today I just wanted to share a little bit about my postpartum journey after having my son. Some of the unexpected things that I came across, and just kind of like tell you how it's been the last month. I think it's totally different having a baby after you already have another child. I did not expect this postpartum period to be 1000% different than when I had my daughter. A lot of new things, a lot of new emotions came up, and I wanted to share them in case somebody else was going through the same thing, and maybe you can find comfort in knowing that you are not by yourself and you are not alone, and the feelings that you're feeling are normal. So here we go. Okay, first of all, before my son was born, I had a lot of anxiety about going to the hospital and just knowing that I would have to leave my daughter for a period of time, and not knowing exactly what childcare would look like, and not knowing how long we'd be at the hospital, and that I knew that that would be time that I'd have to be away from her, and that was really hard for me. So immediately when I went into labor, my brain started racing about how long we're going to be at the hospital and what that's going to look like. And unfortunately, those are all things totally out of my control. And I'm really blessed to have a village of people to help care for my daughter when I'm not around. But even so, I knew it would be a challenge for both of us to be away from each other for that amount of time, whatever that looked like. So we ended up having to stay at the hospital an extra day or so, maybe day and a half, after my son was born, because he had pretty severe jaundice. That wouldn't have been a big deal, but because of my experience with my daughter, where I had to stay at the hospital for an entire week, I anticipated that with my son as well, and it put me into a panic. As soon as they said that his jaundice numbers were high, I just envisioned us having to stay at that hospital with him for a week, and that really stressed me out a lot. I had like a mini mental breakdown. He was born on a Friday, and Sunday was the day they said he'd have to stay like at least an extra night, and I lost it. I was having trouble with breastfeeding, and my milk hadn't come in yet, and he was losing weight as babies do, and it's just all the emotions, all the feelings. And when you just have a baby, your emotions are heightened so much, and that was just a really hard day for me, and I wanted to see my daughter so bad. If you haven't watched one of my earlier videos, my daughter's 4, so she is aware enough of time that being away from me is difficult for her, and adding an extra sleepover away, an extra night, is really hard. So she came to visit me in the hospital on Sunday, and at that point I kind of knew we'd have to stay another night, and it was just really difficult to tell her that, because she was hoping we would be able to come home. She was staying with my grandma that day, and they actually came to visit twice on that Sunday. But it was just really hard. I really wanted to go home with her. And a new feeling that I had was that my heart was kind of split in two, because I have my 4-year-old who I need to be with. I know she needs me. And then I have this newborn who also needs me. And it's like, what do you do? How do you pick who to be with? So that night, what we actually ended up doing was going home with my daughter and getting some sleep and recharging and being with her. And my son, we were able to leave with the wonderful nurses. I felt really guilty about that, of course, because mom guilt is unfortunately a thing that we all deal with. But we left him for about 12 hours. So we were able to go home and get some rest. I was an emotional wreck the entire time, worrying about him. And he was able to spend the night at the hospital under those blue bilirubin lights to help his jaundice kind of clear up. And when we got there in the morning to check on him and to spend the day with him or whatever else that would look like, he was actually ready to come home. So it turns out us going home and taking care of ourselves and my daughter for the night really was the best thing we could have done, because he got all that one-on-one care from his nurses. And luckily our hospital is really small and our maternity ward is really small, so he got so much care from them, and just they said everybody treated him like a little prince. He's like the prince of the palace. And so I felt okay about our decision to have left him. But in the moment, it was really, really hard. That was really difficult. And then when you come home with a new baby, it's hard if it's your only kid, because you don't get any sleep and there's all these new things. You're trying to figure out how to keep this tiny human alive. And when you have another child, it's really, really difficult to always have your hands full and always have to tell them that you can't play, or you can't give them your full attention. And my husband and I are really, really intentional about giving our daughter as much attention as we possibly can. And she unexpectedly has been amazing and really matured a lot over the past month, and she loves playing independently all of a sudden. She's been so, so good. I'm just really proud of her. But as a mom, it is really, really, really hard to have to tell your child that you just can't play right now. I don't want to say I've had postpartum depression, because I really don't think I have. I think it's a combination of sleep deprivation and just being a new mom, trying to figure it out. But I would definitely say that there have been days in the past month where I felt way more blue than other days. So there's this whole aspect of trying to navigate having two kids instead of one and giving both of them the attention that they need from you. And then for me, adding into it, trying to breastfeed. I was not able to breastfeed my daughter for many reasons, but I really wanted to be able to breastfeed my son. And so giving him all that extra attention and making sure that he's nursing as much as possible, trying to gain weight because he was tiny. And that takes a lot more of my time. And also pumping all the time. And it's just a lot. There were many days in the past month where my brain just felt like a jumble. And then a whole nother thing is, it's really hard to leave the house when you have a newborn. It is really hard to leave the house because no longer can you just pick up and go. You have a diaper bag to pack. You have to think about how many bottles you'll need if you're formula feeding, which we've been doing both. So even though he's nursing, I still pack bottles every time we leave the house. And staying in the house for a month really gives you cabin fever. I leave for quick errands here and there, but for the most part, I'm usually at home. And I'm an introvert, so I did not expect that being at home would cause me any kind of negative feelings, but sometimes I just feel like I need to get out of this house. And my husband is really good about letting me go and take walks by myself and things like that. I have learned that I actually really like being outside. I've never been a person who likes being outside. I actually hate the outdoors, but since having this baby, I've really noticed that even going outside, if it's for a half an hour or something a day and just sitting in the sunlight and getting some sunshine on my face really, really, really helps improve my mood, and it helps me to be a better parent to my children. Another thing I've learned this time around is it's okay to hand your baby to somebody who's safe and say, I'm gonna walk away for a few minutes because I need time for myself so that I can come back and be a better mom. I'm really, really blessed to have a husband who is more than willing to help with that. With my daughter, that wasn't the case. I did it myself. I was a single mom and I had no space from her, and I did not want any space from her. Space from her caused me more anxiety, so I could not get enough of her. And with my son, I had to learn that it's okay to feel okay leaving your kid for a little bit so that you can go recharge, come back, and be a better parent. And that has also caused mom guilt for me in the past month, just feeling like I needed space. I felt like that was wrong. I felt like there was something wrong with me, but I know that every time I do that, I come back as a better parent. I know that was a big, long jumble of stuff. I hope that it makes sense. I feel like I haven't had much socialization in the last 28 days since he was born, so I apologize if none of that made sense and if my sentences are all running together and I seem like a kook. It is what it is. I'm really tired. Anyway, I hope that story time was helpful for somebody. Just knowing you're not alone. Being a mom is really hard. Being a mom to a newborn is really hard, and being a mom when you're already a mom is really hard. It's all really tricky right now, and I want you to know, if it's something you're going through, that that it's okay and that it's temporary and your feelings are normal and valid, and just do what you can to get through the day with that baby. Do all the snuggles if you can, or take a break if you need to too. Make sure your baby's fed however you need to feed them, whether it's breastfeeding or bottle feeding. Just make sure that your mental health is okay, because you can be a better parent if your mental health is okay. It's also really hard to have people asking you how you're doing, and it's kind of hard to be genuine, and if you say, hey, I'm not doing very well, they kind of don't know how to respond to that. So you just kind of say like, oh, I'm good, and it's not true and you really do need help. I've definitely been there. So it's okay. It's okay to not be okay. And I hope for everyone out there that you're in a place where you have people who you can reach out to and say that you're not doing well, and that they'll come and support you. But I also know the feeling of feeling like you're totally alone, and I just want you to know you're not totally alone. There are people who feel the exact same way you do. So there's that. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their day. I know I'm going to go snuggle my baby after this and get all the little snuggles in. Have a great day, guys. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I hope this was helpful to you, and I hope to see you again soon. Have a good one.